revealing. Like in this episode, I'll be revealing new magic. So if you're new here to my channel, my name's Nandan Prigi and welcome. So we'll be first talking about how Shin Lim, like all of Shin Lim's routines, are usually edited by the editors of the night shows. I mean, the late night shows. For example, Jimmy Fallon, James Corden, but mainly even a daytime show like Kelly Clarkson. So we'll be talking about all of that in this episode. So if you're new here to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe icon, tap that bell, and let's get into it. So again, I can see I have one viewer online. Now, if you don't know, Shinlim's routines on HET and AGT, the Kelly Clarkson show, and even on the late night show with Jimmy Fallon, all of them are edited because, um, okay, so I think we have one viewer online. Okay, so we have two viewers online. Great. So in this video, I'll be talking about how Shin Lim. If you don't know Shin Lim, I made a series in my channel based on his routines. So in this video, it's a very unedited video, but still I'll be talking about how his routines are less effective when the editors of the show actually edit his performance. So if you haven't seen my reveals, you can watch them after this video. But in this video, we'll actually be talking about, okay, so for example, when Shin Lim's performing magic, I have a deck of cards right over here. So there's a trick which he does on the Kelly Clarkson show where he spreads a deck of playing cards. Now, after he spreads the deck of playing cards, he shows the back and like the faces of the cards and the backs of the cards. And after he does that, the camera actually pans up to his face, and while the camera pans up to his face, he's talking to Kelly and the other Max Greenfield. He's actually talking about okay, so the backs are different and the faces are different, and there is when he does this move called a drop off. So I'll actually open this deck of playing cards right now. Okay, so what we can do is take the cards out, and in this case, so he actually uses the four aces. Now, how the routine goes, in this case, he has one, um, two, and three, and I think four aces. So he takes out four aces from the deck, and he does that in a different way too. So he has four aces right now. So there's one, two, three, four aces in his hand. Now what he does is actually when he's talking to the camera, he shows the audience the four aces. He actually shows Kelly like all the four aces. Now what he does is a drop off move. Now how that looks is, again, I have four aces right over here, and if you don't know, this is a live stream and this is only going to be for my subscribers. So again, he has four aces right over here. Now what he does is he shows the four aces to Kelly and Max Greenfield. Now we don't know what happens next because this is what he's saying while all of this is going on. So he shows the backs of the playing cards, and then he like turns the cards face up, and this is where he does this move called a drop off, which is basically right over here. He actually has another card palmed in his hand. So when he's showing the four aces, maybe there was a slight flash, hence the editors wanted to cut that part. So in this case, he has all the three aces with that card palmed in his hand. So we have the three aces right now. So the like all the four aces, cards are in his hands, spreads the cards, shows the cards in different ways. Now the reason why the editors of the Kelly Clarkson show must have cut this is because he might have flashed, or it like mustn't have seemed that effective. But the problem is, even while keeping that scene, there wouldn't be much of a problem. But the problem was in the comments of that video, most of the magicians actually like spoke to, I mean, told that they actually didn't find this as effective as his other performances because there was a huge letback, like when the camera panned up and they couldn't see anything which was going on. Now the possibilities of this is because the editors of the Kelly Clarkson show, and it's actually a new daytime show. Now the reason why it might have not been that effective is because they are very inexperienced. The editors of the Kelly Clarkson show are pretty inexperienced. So this is what you basically do. Look, so after magician performs a routine, what happens usually is that people always look at his hands. Now, okay, so we have card perfect magician in the chat. So if you don't know what we were talking about, we were actually talking about how the editors in the Kelly Clarkson show are very inexperienced with their magic, because again, I showed you that example earlier. And anyway, after the stream is done, it'll probably be unlisted, but this is only for my subscribers. So we have three viewers online right now. So again, so the reason why the Kelly Clarkson show, like, they were pretty inexperienced because they don't understand magic. Now there's actually this editor who worked for Penn and Teller Fool Us, who's actually made a video based on this. So he's made a video based on the fact that how, like, for an editor to understand to edit magic, they need to know how magic works. Now the editors on Jimmy Fallon are slightly more impressed than. Yes, same. Okay, so even Perfect Magician said in the chat right now that the magicians on the Kelly Clarkson show are less inexperienced than the ones on Jimmy Fallon. Because, Jimmy Fallon's been doing this for the past 10 years, and he's had many magicians on his show. And actually, this is the second time Shin's been on his show. Once after he won AGT, then maybe, yeah, then he actually did a interview with him after his after he won America's Got Talent Champions, and then he did one finally right now, while Shin's actually promoting his own show in Las Vegas, which I think is amazing. Now, okay, in the chat right now, how many of you over here actually want any reveals? You can drop it right down now in the live chat now. So, any anything you want to learn, and I'll also be talking about the COPA changes and how that actually affects my channel and how my channel can be deleted at the end of the stream. So yes, so make sure to drop it down in the live chat right now, any more, like, if you want any reveals, and I'll continue. Okay, now the second part. um you know what else, they actually cut out the editors of the Kelly Clarkson shows. Okay, so imagine, they spread out a deck of cards. I mean, Shin spread out a deck of cards, and he asked Max Greenfield to actually name out a card. Now he named the three of diamonds. Now what Shin actually does is he finds a three of diamonds, then he calls it to the bottom of the deck, and this is a scene which we don't get. So what happens is, the card, in this case the Queen of Hearts, is on the bottom. He actually does a move like this and then changes the card. But in this case, that scene is, again, the camera pans up, so you can't see the entire scene. So it looks something just like this. So if you're leaving my stream right now, you can always watch the replay later. So, okay, so let's continue. So they can name any card, in this case the Jack of Hearts. They cull it to the bottom of the deck. So that was a bad cull. So in this case the Nine of Hearts, they cull it again to the bottom of the deck. Flip the deck over. Now what they do next is, since the card's on the bottom of the deck, they do this move called, it's a different version of the Erdnase change, but it actually, there's a pass used in this move. So in this case, the card's actually palmed. So what I'm basically doing right now is pushing the bottom card, but in this case the top card, but it's on the bottom of the deck, out with my three fingers over here. Now what happens next is, I actually grab the cards just like this, bend the playing cards, and finally, like, what he does is he takes the card and then finally places it over here, so it looks like he actually took it out of nowhere and placed it over here. Now I really think uh, Kelly Clarkson and Greenfield actually saw him cull the cards. That's why maybe they panned it up. But of course, Kelly Clarkson and Max Greenfield aren't magicians. Hence, I don't think they know, like, these technical moves in magic. So in this case, we have the Jack of Hearts right over here. Cull it to the bottom. Push right there. Grab with your ring and pinky. Okay, so that was a bad move. So this is the grip, basically. So it doesn't look like anything from the front, but the back view is basically like this. So thumb, all your other four fingers in front, and just like that, it looks pretty fooling. Now again, nine of hearts over here. He places the jack of hearts, and that's how he actually like keeps the jack of hearts on the top of the deck. Now that was how he did the move. And if you have any other ideas, make sure to drop it down in the comment section of this video. Now this was a live stream, so it's probably unedited, but still this is a more raw form of video. Now again, check out all my videos I've left in the description, because they're all really important videos to check out. Okay, so now in this case, let's do this move again so you can understand the move. So Shin asks Max to actually name out a playing card. He names out the three of diamonds. So what he does is he actually culls out the three of diamonds. So in this case, I'll use the three of diamonds. Yeah, so I just found the three of diamonds. I cull it to the bottom of the deck. So what culling is actually when you, like, imagine I want to cull the 10 of spades. I pull back on the 9 of spades, and on the, like, with the 10, with my other three fingers, I pull back, and then this card is now secured over here, and I continue spreading the cards, and this card like doesn't change its position. So this stays on top. So now after the three of diamonds is on the top of the deck, what he does, he actually goes back to the bottom of the deck, and then, okay, so in this case we have the seven of diamonds right over here. What he does is he takes the seven of diamonds, and then he places the 10 of spades on top. Now actually even Shin's move of this variation was sloppy, hence I think they did an edited version. But his, like, he has a very nice way of covering things up. So I'm gonna do everything again. So Shin asks him again Shin asks Max Greenfield to actually name out a card, names the three of hearts, culls it to the bottom of the deck, pushes the card forward, and voila. So again, this is my last time I'm going to do the move. So this is how Shin Lim actually does that move on the Kelly Clarkson show, which was edited. So he spreads a deck of cards. I can see I have new viewers online. Hello Adarsh, hello Nagesh. Okay, so let me continue. So in this case, um, let's take an example where somebody names out the seven of spades. So the seven of spades is culled to the bottom of the deck. The seven of spades is on the top of the deck right now. Now, Shin tells them that he's actually going to take a card out of the deck. Okay, so I can see somebody just leaving right now. So, okay, great job. And by the way, shout out Card Perfect Magician. His videos are dropping out. Like, I think his videos dropping in 5 hours. So I think, yeah, make sure to check his channel out. Great guy. Again, make sure to check out Adarsh IST's channel too. Both of them are really great magicians who you need to follow, and it's actually really good time to support them due to the COPPA changes, and we all are around, I think, in the same age group. So make sure to check them out too. So again, the move again. Okay, so in this case, the seven of spades, cull it to the bottom of the deck, push forward, like so we push the cards forward, and then finally chains the playing card, and that was how the move was done. Now let's get into the second part and how he actually Shin made, like, did a little bit of the variation of this move at the end, and I made a separate video about that. The video is again in the link in bio after this video is actually published. So again, let's now talk about how the editors again on on Jimmy Fallon are more advanced, and the examples of how they are, like, it shows their experience on the video. So, and if you guys are wondering, I'm making one of these reveals again because of the COPPA changes on YouTube, and that is due to the fact that like, there are going to be a few major changes on the platform, and I'm just trying to be ready for most of these changes. So again, let's talk about again Shinlim versus editors. So Shinlim is, like, very well known for his, like, his normal card routines, but I've actually noticed that when he performs his routines in the, like on Jimmy Fallon, they actually, I think there's a lot of stage stuff which goes on in Jimmy Fallon. Because I really think that Jimmy Fallon is mainly staged. The thing I like about Kelly Clarkson's show is it's very impromptu, but Jimmy Fallon's like that's pretty staged, and so I don't know what I prefer, edited magic or stage magic. It's like both of them, of course. Nobody wants neither of them, but we like guess we gotta have one of them to actually maybe. I really don't know because this is again a very controversial topic which needs its own live stream. So I made this live stream. We have another viewer online, Josh D. Silva. He's actually my moderator. So I prefer Jimmy Fallon's editors because they actually still keep the magic real. They don't do these fancy cuts, and hence I don't know, having magic tricks too polished. And actually Josh said this, but he over here doesn't like tricks where people so Josh was saying that I actually made this video on my on color changes, and Josh actually commented that this might have not been the variation due to the fact that there was a lot of cuts and we really don't know the method Shin used on the Kelly Clarkson show. But the reason I like Jimmy Fallon is he keeps it real, but you know that I talked about this again in my video, that when he like the trick where he tears out the corner and it appears in Jimmy's tie, that really felt too staged. And again, Questlove, when he was actually spreading the playing cards, it can't be such a coincidence that he selected the Queen of Spades. I really think that part of the routine was staged because it always happens to be the Queen of Spades. Most of you know this magician called Daniel Madison, and Daniel Madison does all of these tricks where he asks the audience to like select a card, and he usually forces the nine of clubs. So in this case, Shin actually didn't force the nine of clubs to Jimmy or Questlove. They actually went through the deck just like this. They selected a card. He selected a card, and it happened to be the Queen of Spades. I really think the producers before the show talked about this earlier and actually made him Questlove select the Queen of Spades because all of this is usually staged. So all of this was my opinion on how Shin Lim is usually against the editors on his show. And anyway, if you want me to reveal more magic videos or more videos on Jimmy Fallon, Kelly Clarkson, or America's Got Talent, make sure to let me know again in the comment section right down below. And thanks for coming into the stream. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.